2 years ago, I couldn't even swim, and I don't even have the genetics to be an ultra endurance athlete. But I realized when you're starting out at the bottom, you're not going to be able to beat people by outcomes, but you can outwork them. I couldn't control that I got type 1 diabetes, but I can control my refusal to quit. Nobody's ever going to care how hard you worked in the dark. You have to play a game where your stubbornness is the only metric that matters, because you're the only one that controls the inputs that you put into this. You don't have to be elite, because volume negates good fortune. We got 10 by 1 kilometer repeats today. It's 5:59 a.m. We've done our warm up. We've done our dynamic stretches. Beautiful sunrise in the background. Can't complain. It's a good day to get the work in. Let's do it. So the morning track session got swarmed by landscapers after rep number 4. I could have tried to move the camera around more and film the reps, but I opted just to get it done. The work dictates the media, but the media doesn't dictate the work. We still got it done. After that, I ended up working on the business a little bit. We were working on our offer and how we're going to launch it. And we clocked in, clocked out, ate some carbs. Now we're on to part 2 of the threshold. 4 by 15 minutes at 90% FTP. We got a flat tire on the side of the road, waiting for my ride. 2 hours into my 5-hour ride. So what does that mean? We're putting the bike on the trainer, getting 3 more hours in, then our 30-minute run off the bike. It is what it is. .27 miles off the bike, which equates to 30 minutes at 7:04 pace. This is what it looks like before an 18-mile run. This is what I look like after that 18-mile run. We did 22 hours of training this week, and it probably could have been 23 hours, but we listened to our body, and we didn't do all of the prescribed training because I was feeling fatigued on certain days, especially on the swim. As I'm getting more efficient in the water, I'm recruiting more of my back muscles. My back is getting more fatigued. And my swims was cut short because my form was just breaking down. And I don't know if anyone else has any solutions to things like this, but I listened to my body. And although my swim volume wasn't where I wanted to be at, it was the same as last week. So technically we maintained. But I did get a flat tire on my long ride and had to finish the ride indoors. We had to do 3 more hours, and I gotta tell you, it was excruciating in the last 30 minutes. And you may say, why would you do it then? And it was more mentally excruciating. I feel like I just didn't want to be on the indoor bike. And I could have replaced the tire, but
I don't know how. And I gotta look it up how to replace the tube in my tire after this video is done recording. Our fitness is improving. I'm absorbing the volume very well, and the intensity has been controlled, but the fatigue is real. We're gonna go on a deload week this next week, and I'm excited. Rest, even though we're still gonna be training a lot, it's just going to be less. It's going to feel so good. I want to go over some lessons that I was wrestling with this week, or I learned about. And the first one I want to cover is the fake it culture. When you're physically drained from training, you start to see a contrast between what reality is and then what's portrayed on the internet. What do I mean by that? So with AI writing content, writing business plans, making images and videos, and also just social media as a whole, anybody can portray themselves as an expert in their field, even if they don't have the qualified reps or experience in that field. And I'm not here to bash people on social media. That's not what I'm doing here. It's just being so physically drained after a hard week of business and of training. You start to really understand the reality of what's real and what's not real, and that there's certain things that you just cannot fake. I know you can fake a lifestyle and you can fake a business metric, but you can't fake the finish line of a 140.6 mile race. You can't fake the discipline of the 3:45 a.m. wake ups when the work gets hard, when you're working 2 jobs. And this isn't glorifying myself at all. Like, there's people working harder than me. I'm not even the hardest working person, and I'm aware of that. It's good to do all these hard things because it keeps you grounded, because then your radar for who's authentic, and you can tell because you've done hard work yourself, whether it was in the marketing space or in the endurance space. Because if you're actually in the industry, you know what the real work looks like, or what real expertise looks like. I've done a lot in my life, okay? I've directed commercials, I've done brand strategy for some of the top tier companies. I've raced an Ironman right out of the ICU. I've served as a marketing director, but I do not have all the answers to everything. I'm still learning, I'm still growing, and I'm still improving, whether that's in my endurance, and I'm telling you my findings from what I've learned from the week, from nutrition, the volume I'm doing, from the type of training I'm doing, or from what type of marketing strategy I was learning this week and how it's helping other people. I don't want people to misperceive that I'm portraying myself as this perfect person, like all this comes easy to me. And I know I'm trying to work on how I can show up more authentic, if that makes sense. I don't do a great job of showing how much work I'm actually putting in. That's my fault for not documenting. It's exhausting documenting and doing the work as well. Doing 2 jobs. Well, a job and a business, being grounded in my faith, showing up my community. It's a lot. I'm doing a better job of trying to do a better job of documenting and just being more transparent where I'm at in the process of everything. And I don't want people to think I know it all, because I don't. I'm just sharing with you what I'm finding out, whether it's life lessons, my breakthroughs in my faith, my training, my business. The only way to stand out today is to do the work that AI, social media cannot do for you. You cannot fake a 22-hour week of training. You cannot fake the boring business daily inputs that seem like they're not moving you forward on the map or on the progression chart. The inputs must be paid in full. And this is a reminder for me, just to stay grounded in it. Stay grounded in knowing you're not all that. The more, or the deeper I go into this, the more I resonate with when Alex Hormozi says, do so much work that it's impossible for you to fail. That hits so much harder as I'm drained right now and knowing that people cannot take away what I've done. Alex Ramos's other core philosophy: you cannot fake real confidence with chest beating or loud hype. It always fades when the work begins. It always fades when the work begins. True self-belief comes from a track record of keeping your word to yourself and surviving hard things. Every small win, every completed task or overcome failure acts as a receipt, proving you can handle what comes next. Ain't that the truth? A caveat here though, because I'm a Christian, I don't want to glorify suffering or make it seem like I'm trying to earn these things, because everything I do comes from my Father in heaven. It helps me keep my hubris at bay and make sure that I don't think of myself as omnipotence or that I'm a god, because I'm not. And that's all I got for you this week. It was a strong training week. It was a strong week mentally, physically, spiritually. There were some breakthroughs and constantly growing, constantly working to get better. And I hope that you're doing the same. We'll see you next week.